Home Depot and Walmart have sounded the alarm on the American economy. People are deciding to spend less, not by choice, but by necessity. Listen to this clip, which illustrates my point further.
So, a lot of major retailers are quietly giving warnings about the current state of the economy. And if you're not paying attention, you should, because these big players, they're paying attention to things that a lot of people do not pay attention to. They're looking at metrics, they're looking at shopping behaviors, they're looking at things nationally. Okay, a lot of people, we will focus on what's taking place locally. We will make a determination about how well or not well things are going based off of behavior and patterns that we see in our local area. But these big retailers, they're looking at everything from a bird's eye view. They are really seeing what's going on with the economy, and they are issuing some warnings. First of all, I want to talk about Home Depot, because Home Depot right now, they are saying that people are not buying appliances like they used to. And that really doesn't come to a surprise to me, because number one, have you seen the cost of appliances lately? First of all, some of them are so techy that, it's almost like you're buying a vehicle. Like, is the fridge going to drive me somewhere too? I mean, it's so crazy. The prices and some of the technology that some of these appliances now have. But besides that point, it's expensive. And most of the time, the quality that you're getting, if you're looking for something that's reasonably priced, you're not getting much of a good product anymore at all.
Agreed, agreed. And oftentimes, you can't even get a basic product. Sometimes you just want something that's as simple as a fridge. I went to purchase one a few months ago, and they kept trying to sell me one with a TV, an additional screen, Wi Fi, and all these gadgets. And I just wanted a fridge that works. Because half of these things that tend to have all of these options, after a while, break down. It's made of some crappy plastic. The enshittification of everything is real, and we're starting to see it. And sometimes they try to mask how crap something is by giving you all of these options that you didn't even ask for. But anyway, let's let her cook.
Things are getting so cheap now. Uh, about a couple years ago, we purchased a fridge, and this was actually a new fridge from, I believe it was Lowe's. I don't know if it was Lowe's or Home Depot, but within the first couple months or so, I was wiping the fridge on the front, I was cleaning it, and the paint is coming off as I cleaned it. The cleaner I was using was not harsh. I didn't scrub too hard. It was just coming off. And I just remember thinking, like, wow, growing up in the 80s and 90s, you didn't see that. Okay. But nowadays, it's like everything falls apart. It doesn't operate the same. Everything is cheaply made. It is so hard to find good quality that you either need to pay a lot of money, or you're better off keeping stuff that's really, really old, or finding something used and time tested at a garage sale or estate sale, secondhand store, even like Habitat for Humanity or places like that. But anyways, Home Depot is saying that people are not buying appliances like they used to. Now, people are not buying appliances as much because they don't have the money. Okay, we talk about that on this channel all the time. The economy is tanking little by little, and it's happening all across the board. People, their pockets are drying up because the price of everything is just going up so much right now. And of course, our wages are not keeping up. So if you're not finding ways to make more money or getting great raises at your job, you're going to start falling behind. And that's what's happening right now. And the other thing too is that home sales have slowed. So a lot of people are also not buying new appliances for their new home. They're not really upgrading. People are just keeping their old appliances because, you know, buying new appliances, if you don't really need it, that's just more of like a luxury move. Most of the time, people are not just going to upgrade just to upgrade.
Agreed, agreed entirely. But in addition to that, folks who are buying have the ability to say, can you leave the appliances in the home? We'll take those and actually give us the house for 10% less because we're really in a buyer's market. I've mentioned it a few times on this channel, but there are currently 630,000 more sellers on the market than there are buyers. So it's truly a buyer's market. Now, with the current economic situation that we're in, can we be surprised that people have decided to cut back their spending? Absolutely not. Let's have a look at what this guy has to say.
So, Home Depot has issued a warning that consumer behavior has shifted, and they are saying that this is a sign of what is to come. There is something that economists call discretionary spending contraction. This is something that we've been experiencing for the past several years, but now it's starting to take a massive turn. And here's the reason why. People have gone from discretionary spending to only buying things that are necessary. So discretionary to necessary. Why is that important? It's all the things that we consume. New clothing, things like just building materials. You want to do a renovation to your home? Well, many people are pushing that back. And in a moment, I'll tell you my exact story about what I've decided to do over the past several months. And again, it is actually what we are seeing today. We are seeing many homeowners list their homes for sale. The problem is they still need some fixes, but they decide they can't do it. They don't want to pay the money, they don't want to hire a contractor, and they don't want to spend the time. Well, it's turning into a bigger issue. These homes are sitting. Homes are sitting on the market. And I even talked to a realtor friend of mine, and one of the things that he said is that the sellers don't have much power right now because there's so many homes hitting the market. The buyers are coming in and demanding, no, you need to fix that. I want a new roof. I want the house painted a different color. I want the landscaping done completely. There's so many different things that they're talking about.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It's a buyer's market. I made a video about this last week, and I said that there's about 630,000 more sellers on the market than there are buyers. So it's certainly a buyer's market. And if you can afford to be picky, go ahead. But that's not the only reason a lot of homes are sitting on the market. The average mortgage rate is about 6.5%, which is relatively high. So folks are waiting for a better time to buy. But the reality is we're in an inflationary environment. Cost of living continues to go up. So it's unlikely, at least in the short term future, that rates will come down. So folks are just waiting for a better time. In addition, I mentioned previously, we're in the middle of a cost of living crisis, and inflation means that a lot of folks are being very careful with their money. And this point comes full circle to the Home Depot report. They mentioned that people are making fewer big ticket purchases, that folks are deciding to repair instead of renovate or buy new. And that makes sense because, as I mentioned before, we're in the middle of a cost of living crisis. Inflation means that all folks need to be very careful where they're spending their money. And it's not just folks that you would consider poor or lower class. Folks in the upper classes or the wealthier classes are also deciding to spend less, as evidenced by this Walmart article. So it seems as though Walmart have been sounding the alarms for a while now. This article was published on February the 19th, as we can see here, and it's titled K-shaped economy hits Walmart as high-income shoppers are increasingly driving sales. Now, why this is worrisome is because typically folks that shop at Walmart are not described as high income, and the fact that they're shopping there suggests that folks are being squeezed. Potentially, they're even falling down that economic ladder. And there's another article by the Business Insider which says a Walmart-related recession indicator that's preceded the last 4 economic downturns is flashing red. Now, what is this indicator? It says the measure looks at Walmart's stock price relative to a basket of luxury goods, and it's flashing red. What's interesting about this article, though, is that judging by the tone of comments that I receive, some folks will say we're already in a recession and things are just going to get worse. What would be interesting to know, however, is what you guys are doing to navigate this current economic situation that we find ourselves in. Have you sold assets? Have you downsized? Have you got rid of your car lease? Have you picked up a side gig? Have you picked up extra hours at work? What are you doing to increase your income or minimize your costs? It'll be interesting to know what you guys are doing because it seems as though things are going to get a little bit worse before they get better. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you in the next one. Peace.